All right, so I want to welcome us to another trading day, and today is Monday, the 7th of April, 2025, and we're having a morning analysis where we look at what the market holds between today, 7th, and Friday, 11th of April. We first look at the fundamentals, then we'll go back to the technical analysis, to get a clearer view of what is expected in the market for this week. Now, today, Monday, there is no fundamental event at all, so today is just blank. Now, because of that, two things will happen. The market can be extremely very slow or maybe ranging, or there could be some spikes, irregular movement. So I will advise you trade with a lot of caution today. The reason is because fundamentals is what drives the market. And when there's no fundamental, there can be instability in the way the market moves. So trade with a lot of caution today. Now, tomorrow, Tuesday, there's just one event, and it's a medium impact event, and that's IVPMI from Canada, which will come up by 3 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday. You can look towards trading. Like I said, it's a medium impact event, so much volatility is not really expected on it. However, on Wednesday, volatility is really expected in the market because 3 a.m. in the morning, as in Nigerian time, there will be official cash rate, RBNZ restatement, both of them from the New Zealand. Cash rate still talks about interest rate. So there'll be interest rate decision from the Reserve Bank of New Zealand by 3 a.m. on Wednesday. That will lead to volatility on all New Zealand pairs, New Zealand USD, New Zealand JPY, GBP New Zealand, Euro New Zealand, and others like that. And later on Wednesday by 7 p.m., there'll be FOMC meeting minutes. Now, it's not the main FOMC. FOMC stands for Federal Open Market Committee, and that's a committee that decides on interest rates in the United States. It's not the main event, but then it could also lead to some volatility. Now, there's a Bank of Japan governor where that will give a speech. Timing is not yet fixed, so it's tentative. That could lead to some movement on the JPY in the course of the day on Wednesday. So we need to look at that and take note of those instruments. On Thursday, a lot of volatility is expected on Thursday. By 1:30 p.m., there'll be core CPI and CPI from the United States. And we're going to be trading this one live. We trade two fundamental events live. We trade NFP, which talks about employment change and unemployment rates. And we also trade the CPI. CPI is equally a major economic indicator that moves the market. So we're going to be trading CPI live on Wednesday by 1:30 p.m. You can join us to trade this with a funded account. That's the caveat there. We trade only with funded accounts. Now, simultaneously, there are the unemployment claims. Same 1:30 p.m., just same time we have core CPI monthly, CPI yearly, and unemployment claims is coming out simultaneously. This is expected to lead to a lot of volatility on the American dollar on Thursday by 1:30 p.m. And finally, on Friday, there'll be GDP, that's gross domestic product from the United Kingdom by 7 a.m. This will likely move the market. And by 1:30 p.m., there'll be core PPI and PPI. Both are high impact events and could move the market. And later on Friday by 3 p.m., there'll be prelim UOM consumer sentiment and prelim UOM inflation expectations. Combined together, these two will also move the market. So on Friday, we have an anticipation. All right, so we had a little network glitch, and I'm back. So I said that on Friday, volatility is expected from the United States, based on those four events by 1:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. All right, that's it on the fundamentals to look out for this week. Now move over to the technicals so that I can show us what to expect on the charts, in the course of this week. And I'll start with the GBP USD. Now, last week, there was a lot of volatility in the market. Majority of it was the fallout of the Donald Trump speech, which happened, I think, on Wednesday, thereabouts. It really pushed the market to some serious movements, and the market is trying to just make some recoveries. However, I'm seeing some setup on this specific instruments I'm going to show us, and I want us to put our attention on these instruments in the course of this week. Now, the first one is the GBP USD. Now, this is GBP USD on the monthly time frame. and we can see that there has been a massive downtrend on the GBP USD. Price has been trending downwards and been having a bearish direction. That's on the monthly time frame, and the same is reflected on the weekly. Now, the thing there is that on the weekly time frame, you can see that price actually touched the trend line. Let's go back to the monthly. The monthly is easier to capture what is happening. You can see that price, made a series of lower highs here. So this is the third time price touched the trend line. Technically, we should be looking for an opportunity for price to break out, downwards. And if we go down to the weekly time frame, it's still the same. Price touched the trend line, but there is an additional information, and that is the fact that last week actually closed as a rejection candle. Now that strengthens the fact that we are expecting a bearish movement on the GBP USD. And finally, we also have a case of a support turn resistance. So from the monthly and weekly time frame, my view on the GBP/USD is a bearish one this week. I hold a bearish sentiment on the GBP/USD. We can flip now down to the 4-hour and look out for potential entry. Now, what we've done on the weekly time frame is to look for the trend. If you've attended our training, we do emphasize always trade in the direction of the overall trend. The overall trend is bearish. And if we're going to pick any trade, it's going to be bearish also. So we don't have any business with any bullish setup on this particular instrument. So in addition to all the bearish sentiments we've seen, I can also see that there is equally a rising wedge pattern on this instrument, which is still an indication of a bearish movement. But what is more unique about this is that it's not just an ordinary rising wedge. There is also a formation, a bearish formation forming within this setup, and as a shoulder ahead. There is a likelihood of a second shoulder before we're going to have the drop. Now the second shoulder is yet to form. It will be a slight bullish movement, but like I always say, you don't have any business with it, even though it will go bullish. Just ignore it. And also, I need to emphasize that this setup is actually a swing setup. This is a swing setup. So for swing traders, this is something you should put your attention on. So in the course of this week, I'm expecting we have a shoulder, we have a head. I'm expecting some slight movements. Now it's a 50-50. It may complete here and break out. Or we may just see after price retests the trend line here, we may see a breakout. All we're looking out for is just a breakout below the neckline region, which is a new support level, support zone I just drew over there. Once that has happened, then we expect a massive bearish breakout on the GBP USD. So I have a bearish outlook on the GBP USD, and this is going to be some kind of I can't call it a long term, probably a medium term movement on the GBP USD. And let's look at the profit potential of this. If you look at entry below the support zone there, to Fibonacci 50 can give you as much as 195, or like just say 200 pips. Yeah, that's 200 pips. To Fibonacci 1.8 can give as much as 327 pips. So price is expected to hit those two major levels, or let's even start from Fibonacci 30.2, which can give about 70 pips. Fibonacci 50, 700, 200, and Fibonacci 61 can give as much as, let's say, 300 pips. So we have a massive one we're anticipating on the GBP USD, and we are very, very bearish on this instrument. Now, fundamentals that will aid this bearish breakout in the course of the week, if the news, all the news we're expecting on the dollar, if they come out good for the dollar, that will lead to more bearish movement. And even the news on the pound, we have some few events on the pound, like the gross domestic product. If it comes out bad for the pound, that will also lead to this bearish breakout that we're expecting on the GBP USD. So I'm bearish on the GBP USD for this week. And the next one I'm looking at is the Euro USD. And I'm equally bearish on the Euro USD. Now for the Euro USD, if we go to the monthly time frame, we can clearly see that price, recently hit the monthly resistance. This is this month's candle, and price already hit the resistance level on the monthly time frame. So technically, we should be expecting some downward movement on the Euro USD. So let's go down to the weekly. Nothing much on the weekly. Daily. On the daily, what I saw on the GPS is the same thing happening, though not exactly the same setup, but very, very close. What I'm seeing is also a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a drop. There will be a slight bullish movement, before we experience the drop on the Euro USD. So I'm equally bearish on the Euro USD, just like I'm bearish on the GBP USD. And looking at the profit potential for this one, with a breakout below the support zone there, which is acting as a neckline, first movement of Fibonacci 50 can give about 50 pips. Fibonacci 61.8 can give as much as 160 pips, and Fibonacci 70.6 can give as much as about 300 pips thereabout. So it's a swing setup also, just like the VPN. So this is exclusively for swing traders. So if you are a swing trader, then this is something you should put your attention to. We can still take it a step further by drawing a trend line right here, and a second one right here to form a rising wedge pattern, which gives us an additional layer of information, which is still pointing us in the bearish direction. I can still zoom it down to 4 hour. It's still anyhow you want to put it. All I'm expecting, yeah, price is expected to drop back to the support zone, retest the trend line, then finally drop. So I'm bearish on the Euro USD and the GBP USD. Both are swing. Now, I'll give you two other setups that are intraday, which we expect to trigger in the course of today. So I know some are wondering that, oh, is it everything else going to be swing? No, we always take care of all types of traders. Please, as you're joining this class, make sure you are muted. Make sure you are muted as you're joining so that you don't cause distraction in our trading room. Let me put it that way. All right, so I'm going to look at GBP New Zealand and Euro AUD. These are the two, it's still the same pound, just like the GBP USD. It's a derivative of the pound. Lots of findings. So let me open the fresh one for the GBP New Zealand. All right, so this is GBP New Zealand. And on the weekly time frame, I can clearly see a rising wedge pattern on the GBP New Zealand. If you flip down to the daily, you can see prices touching the upper trend line. And on the 1 hour, we're seeing the formation of a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and we anticipate a breakout in the bearish direction. Now for this one, the neckline is not far away. This is intraday. Like I said, this is expected to trigger in the course of today. So this is the neckline region. Second shoulder is still forming, still in formation. So the price breaks out below the second shoulder. We can look at our entry at this region and target Fibonacci 50 and possibly 61.8 as a profit taking level. So to Fibonacci 50 will get as much as 100 pips, and to Fibonacci 7.8 will get as much as 197 pips. I think one profit is enough. There's no point trying to be greedy. I mean, the 100 pips is more than enough, on this particular one. So we're bearish on the GBP New Zealand. I will drop a signal on this one. Let me just round up with the UAD. And the second is the Euro AUD. And for the Euro AUD, the price is pushing higher. All right. So this is the weekly time frame, and the price hits this major resistance level. The last time price got to that level is 2020. That's 4 years ago. That's the last time price got to that level. 2020 March 15. That's the last time price got to that level. So price now hits that resistance level. Technically, we should anticipate some reversal there. So flip down to 1 hour, and we're also having a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and possibly a drop there. And we can use Fibonacci tool to look at entry. So entry will be below the Fibonacci 23.6. And if we target the first Fibonacci level, which is 13.2, that will give, wow, this, I think we should trade it with a lot of caution. Yeah, even though it looks like the profit is big, it also means the risk might be big. So we should trade this with a lot of caution. This can give as much as maybe like 200 pips, I think we should just take one of it just to be on the safe side. I'll go just with the Euro AUD. I'll go with the Euro AUD. All right. So those are the two intraday setup that we have for today. So for a day trader, just watch out for this. So let me drop the signal I said I'll drop. I'll drop on Euro AUD. So we'll do a sell stop order, Euro AUD sell stop. Euro AUD sell stop at 1.80941. Take profit. Take profit at 1.79055 and stop loss at I'll do ratio 1 to 2 for the stop loss, just to be on the safe side. H1933. 1.81933. Now, still to be safe, only use 0.01 for this trade, regardless of your account. Use 0.001 lots, regardless of your account. Trade with caution. All right, so I'll drop this now in the comment section, and I'll drop it in the funded client group. If you're not in our funded client group, you're missing a lot. On the word funded clients, it only means it's for those who have funds, who have funded their accounts with PU Prime. So you don't keep missing out on opportunities. We drop a lot of signals there every day with a very, very high win rate. For those who are there, they can testify to that. So make sure you have a funded account with PU Prime so that it can be added to the funded client group. So if you already have an account and you are not yet in a group, reach out to your account manager. Account manager will ensure you are added to the group. So I'm trying to post to the WhatsApp groups, to this, to the Signal group, on the client Signal group. After which I will attend to, I can still request people that drop it to attention. All right, so that's done. I've posted in the relevant groups. So I'll attend to the request we have now, and we'll look at rounding up this analysis session. All right, so Augustine is asking me to check gold, BTC, GBP CAD, okay? Maureen, GBP JPY, Ekman Ambassador, GBP JPY, Euro CAD, Abiola's iPhone, gold. All right, so let's look at each of these. So gold, let's start with gold. Now, this is my outlook on gold. Gold has been trending up for quite some time, and you can see that gold, closed last week with a rejection candle. Let me try to see if there's a psychological level that can act as resistance. 3166. Okay, no psychological level there. None. 3100. All right, 3100 is a midpoint, not exactly the level, but the middle of the psychological level. It's still a psychological level, right? Still usable. All right, so you can see that when price either level, we had the rejection candle, which shows that the buying pressure, got some kind of a pause. Price could not break out above that level. And that's why the week closed as a rejection candle. Now we have a rising wedge pattern on gold. So gold closed as a rejection candle was in the last week. Rejection candle hit a psychological level. Technically, we should be looking for an opportunity to sell. But please, a word of caution. I've not said place a sell yet. Just wait. See, when you're trading, I always say it's three things we do: we buy, we sell, wait. When there's an opportunity to buy, we buy. There's an opportunity to sell, we sell. And in between, we just have to wait to see clarity. This is what I perceive will likely happen to gold. Gold may end up forming a head and shoulder before it sells. So price may push up to the trend line, to the upper resistance line, which is psychological level, before we expect the bearish breakout. Now that's my outlook on gold. So currently, the current daily candle is looking like a rejection candle, but it's still fresh, so we can't work with that. So we can go down to the 4-hour time frame, and we can see that that was a very, very clear rejection candle, on the 4-hour time frame. We still have the head and shoulder, head. Price may push up, so there could be an opportunity to buy. This is gold, yes. The movement may be good enough to buy before we have the sell. The major move is actually the sell, but there could be some buy before the sell. And additionally, we also have the rising wedge pattern here. Everything is pointing in the bearish direction. Like I said, we have some bullish expectation first, which is a retracement in the real sense, not an exact trend, not a bullish trend, just a retracement. The neckline is that support zone. So if you flip down to 1 hour, let's see 1 hour, 30 minutes. All right. On 30 minutes, you can see that price is forming an inverse head and shoulder. So if price breaks above the neckline region here, well, that will be an opportunity to buy gold. So on the short term, there is a bullish outlook on gold, and on the longer term, we have a bearish outlook on gold. So what I would suggest is this: wait for a clear breakout above this minor resistance level, to trigger a buy on gold. And using Fibonacci, the profit taking will be in the range of, I'm using that Fibonacci tool again as the entry up there. All these things are just giving very big pips. Please trade with a lot of caution. That's what I would advise. Even about 178 pips, trade with a lot of caution. Don't use a high lot size. Even if your account can take 0.1, still drop it low so that it can be on the safe side. So we have a bullish expectation before the longer term bearish expectation on gold. Again, if you are to trade gold, the signal doesn't have stop loss. There's stop loss there now. I put stop loss in time. That's the SL. That's Zamilari. SL is stop loss. The Euro AED signal I gave you, TP is take profit, SL is stop loss. The stop loss is there. So for the golds, just try and look out for, I'm not giving a signal on this. You have to trade it by discretion. Look at entry around the region and possibly take profit off it. All right, so that's my outlook of gold. And stop loss on that one should be by your discretion. Discretion for that. And BTC GBP card. BTC has been in a downtrend. I said this last week, because we've been having this ascending trend line and the rejection candles here. So that has been responsible for the recent downtrend seen on BTC. Can I still enter sell? I would say the answer is no. If you missed when we gave the outlook, just need to wait for the next one. And there is a resistance turn support here. So this is a resistance, price broke resistance becomes support, which could lead to a further bullish breakout. So this is what I'm looking at on BTC. Price will drop to the support zone, and from there, people anticipate a reversal if there is enough probability for a bullish trade, maybe a rejection candle or a chart pattern. Currently, that is not yet in it, so you need to exercise patience and see the right set of form. But generally, the outlook is price will enter into the zone and reverse back up. That's for BTC. And GBP card. All right, this is a GBP card. No resistance in view. Then we have a channel. So the channel 2 is okay. Channel is working more like a rising wedge. That has led to some downtrend. That's on the weekly time frame. Daily, there is a resistance on support, but price seems not to have touched that level. Let's go to the weekly and see this. Even monthly. Okay, now where the price is currently on the monthly time frame, it's at the tip of the previous rejection candle, which also acted as a support here. So it's a key level resistance here, support there. All right. So even though the resistance and support on the daily is not working, we have a previous resistance on support on the monthly time frame. All right. So this is where we are. So we go down to the and finally to the 1 hour. All right, so I'm expecting a bullish movement. Now you can see there's been irregular spikes on this instrument. It is likely going to buy. I'll use the word likely because I'm not seeing enough. The patterns are not that clear. The candles are more like ranging kind of candles, not having regular shapes. But generally, we could have some bullish movement on the GBP card. And that's because of this support, resistance to support on the monthly time frame is expected to push price up. So I hold the bullish outlook on the GBP card. GBP JPY. All right, so this is a GBP JPY. Price currently is trading around the support level on the weekly time frame. Particularly not having a clear candle. It's not having a clear candle, but there could be the possibility of a bullish movement. So all these ones that I said don't have clear setup, please trade them with a little caution. If you are not on a trade on it yet, don't bother. But if you're already on a trade, I'm just giving you the direction so you know whether you are in line with it, the right direction or not. All right, I think I'm attending to all the questions that are here. I've attended to all. Okay, Eurocard. Eurocard will be the last. Now, this is Eurocard on the weekly time frame. Price is approaching the resistance level on the weekly time frame. It might still push up to go and touch that resistance before reversing. And this is the daily. It's giving me this outlook of the possible formation of a double top. We'll still need to watch it closely, but that's what I'm seeing. This daily, let's go down to 4 hour. It's still the same outlook. So price may go to hit this resistance from where we may anticipate a breakout, at which time this may be giving us a double top pattern. So this is what I will suggest whoever is asking about that to do. You can look at taking a sell. Now we have a rising wedge pattern right here. You need to wait possibly for price to hit this resistance and reverse and break out below the lower trend line. And your confirmation will be that your RSI must be clearly below 50 after the breakout below the lower trend line. Then you can trigger a sell down to the neckline region, which is the support zone we're seeing. And we just target all these big peeps are scary. 165 trade caution, that's what I would say. So yeah, we are bearish, but then it's not yet time. Wait for price to hit the resistance and reverse backward. Or you can look at an opportunity to sell the GBP. sorry, the GBP, sorry, the Euro card, pardon me, Euro card. All right, so that'll be all from my end this morning. I'll just do a little recap of the analysis and setup I gave personally. I said I'm bearish on the GBP USD on the 4 hour. I'm bearish on the Euro USD on the 4 hour. I'm bearish on GBP New Zealand on 1 hour and also Euro AUD on 1 hour. Those are the 4 setups I gave. And I gave a signal on the Euro AUD, which I've dropped right here and in the relevant groups. Don't forget to join us on Wednesday by 1:15 p.m. for CPI live trading. CPI is Consumer Price Index. Is a major volatile fundamental event in the market, and we do trade it live. So don't forget to join us on Wednesday by 1:15 p.m. to trade.
Sorry, Mr. Rotimi. Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
It's Wednesday.
I thought you said Thursday earlier.
So I didn't get you, sir.
No, the CPI, I thought you mentioned Thursday earlier when you were discussing the analysis for the week.
No, it's not Thursday. It's Wednesday.
Okay, it's Wednesday. All right, thank you.
Right, CPI usually on Wednesday. It comes up the week after NFP. So in some rare occasions, it may come up 2 weeks after NFP. Usually it's oh, okay. Pardon me. I think I'm wrong. I think you're correct. Okay, there's a change this time. Normally it's Wednesday, but now I'm saying it's Thursday. You're correct, sir. It's coming up on Thursday. This is the first time I'm saying it on Thursday. CPI, so please let's take note CPI. But then we'll still update you. Just watch out in your WhatsApp group. We'll still post the information about it. So still nothing to worry about, no cause for alarm. We'll still update you with the links and everything. But the important thing is that it's a live event which we trade, and we trade with live funds. So we still have a lot of time now, which you can go ahead and fund your account and be a part of that live trading session on Thursday, or what we just saw on the screen. All right, that's going to be all for now. Take care and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. We are very grateful. Have a nice day.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.